Το επόμενο μας θέμα έχει να κάνει με την διάλεξη της Dr. Chrysanthis Gallou, η οποία έλαβε χώρα στο Ελληνικό Κέντρο Λονδίνου την περασμένη Παρασκευή. Η διάλεξη ήταν αφιερωμένη στους Σπαρτιάτες και τον άγνωστο τώρα τρόπο ζωής τους. Δεν ήταν μόνο καλοί πολεμιστές, αλλά ήταν υπόδειγμα υψηλής μόρφωσης, κουλτούρας και πολιτισμού. Η διάλεξη έγινε στα αγγλικά. Εμείς θα περάσουμε να παρακολουθήσουμε την παρουσίαση της κύριας ομιλήτριας και το θέμα που θα παρουσιάσει και στη συνέχεια την Dr. Chrysanthi Gallou να παρουσιάσει ένα απόσπασμα από την έρευνα. Εδώ να αναφέρουμε ότι η εκδήλωση πραγματοποιήθηκε σε συνεργασία με την Ετερία Πελοποννησίων Αγγλίας.
Distinguished guests, good evening. Welcome to tonight's talk organized by the Peloponnesian Association with the initiative and sponsorship of Mr. Christos Krias and Rhodes Hotel. The agogí was the rigorous education and training regimen mandated for all male Spartan citizens except for the firstborn son of the ruling houses. The training involved learning stealth, cultivating loyalty to the Spartan group, military training, for example, pain tolerance, hunting, dancing, singing, and social communicating preparation. According to folklore, agogí was introduced by the semi-mythical Spartan lawgiver Lycurgos, but its origins are thought to be between the 7th and the 6th centuries BC, when the state trained male citizens from the ages of 7 to 21. The men would become the walls of Sparta, because Sparta was the only Greek city with no defensive walls after they had been demolished at the order of Lycurgos. The agogí was prestigious throughout the Greek world, and many aristocratic families from other cities vied to send their sons to Sparta to participate in the agogí for varying periods of time. Referring to the story of the young Spartan, which you see in your program, we cannot but wonder about the persistence, perseverance, and endurance that the young man showed. And indeed, we cannot easily comprehend the deeper meaning of the story. Many questions arise. What was the point of such harsh education? What installed young Spartans with the courage to obey strict rules for the benefit of the city? These and other questions on the social behavior, philosophy, and politics will be answered tonight by our speaker, Dr. Chrysanthi Gallou. Dr. Gallou is Associate Professor in Archaeology and Co-Director of the Center for Spartan and Peloponnesian Studies at the University of Nottingham. She has written extensively on Aegean archaeology, the archaeology of childhood, and the archaeology of Laconia and the Peloponnese, including the now submerged prehistoric town at Pavlopetri. In 2005, she published her first book on the Mycenaean cult of the dead. She recently completed her research project on the Mycenaean tombs at Epidorus Limera, southern Laconia, which has been funded by the Institute of Aegean Prehistory in STAP, the J.F. Kostopoulos Foundation, the Shelby White and Leon Levy Program for Archaeological Publications, and the Mediterranean Archaeological Trust, and the results are currently being published in her new book, Rethinking Mycenaean Chamber Tombs, A View from Laconia. Dr. Gallou has co-organized several international conferences and has co-edited their proceedings, including Sparta and the Laconia from Prehistory to Pre-Modern Times in 2009, In the past, the significance of memory and tradition in the transmission of culture, also in 2009, the archaeology of cult and death in 2006, and the forthcoming sacred landscapes in the Peloponnese from prehistory to modern times. She is currently writing a new book on tiny archaeologies, the archaeology of children and childhood in Mycenaean Greece. And she is setting up a new international interdisciplinary research project on Spartan sanctuaries under the auspices of the British School of Athens. She aims to make Greek archaeology more accessible to children in Greece and abroad, and has set up an educational project on the prehistoric town at Pavlopetri and on the symbolism of the Tyrian purple color from prehistory to nowadays. She is also archaeological consultant to Sarantos Minopetros' forthcoming children's books, Arsando and the Sea Garlanded City, My Name is Royal Purple, and Leonidas, the Obedient King. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Gallou to speak.
Mr. Demestica, Consul of Greece, honorable audience, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and pleasure to be among fellow Peloponnesians, fellow Hellenes and Philhellenes this evening, and I would like first to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Lena Markou and the Managing Committee of the Peloponnesian Association of Great Britain for their kind invitation and for organizing this lovely evening. This event has been made possible through the unfailing support and sponsorship of Mr. Christos Krias, whom I wholeheartedly thank, and I would also like to extend my gratitude to his wife, Maria, for their warm hospitality. I shall start my lecture today with some brief introduction to the Center for Spartan and Peloponnesian Studies at the University of Nottingham, which I co-direct since 2012. The center was established in 2006 at the University of Nottingham by two Philhellene professors, Professor Bill Kavanagh, an archaeologist, and Professor Steve Hodkinson, a historian, and it's unique in its kind and aims, which have put the study and promotion of the history, the archaeology, and culture of Sparta and the Peloponnese in the forefront of academic research worldwide. The center runs a regular series of research seminars and lectures with distinguished invited speakers from UK, Greece, and abroad. It organizes international conferences and symposia on various aspects of Sparta and the Peloponnese and publishes their proceedings. We take great pride on the quality and international impact of our scholarly publications, which include a large number of books on Sparta, but also on other regions in the Peloponnese, including the most recent ones on Sparta and Laconia from prehistory to pre-modern, and Sparta in modern thought, politics, history, and culture. They also include the forthcoming edited volume, Sacred Landscapes in the Peloponnese, from prehistory to modern times, as well as the final publication of the Center's research projects on the important Laconian prehistoric sites at Koufouvouno, and I'm showing you just two important finds from the site. Koufouvouno has been identified with prehistoric Sparta. It is located just outside the modern town of Sparti at the site called Alessia, and it was excavated by the other director of the center, Professor Bill Kavanagh, in collaboration with the University of Liverpool and the French School at Athens. Also, the results of my recent project on the chamber tombs at Epidaurou Limyra on the Malea Peninsula in southern Laconia, which is the site that introduced the new burial tradition of the Mycenaean chamber tomb on the Greek mainland on the 17th century and BC, and this actually changes completely our idea on the introduction of this type of tomb and this type of burial tradition on the Greek mainland by the Mycenaeans. And also, we are currently working on the publication of the survey and small-scale excavation that the University of Nottingham, under the auspices of the British School at Athens, has carried out at the now submerged city at Pavlopetri, which has been now proved to be the oldest submerged city in the world, and it is located just opposite the island of Elafonisos in southern Laconia. You may have already seen the project's documentary called Pavlo Petri, City Beneath the Waves, which aired in BBC Two in October 2011, achieving viewing figures of 2.03 million. A North American version of the documentary debuted on the Discovery Channel in June 2012, and it has so far been shown in a further 20 countries, with estimated consolidated viewing figures of more than 15 million worldwide. And we take great pride that we have these projects because we promote the cultural significance of Laconia, the Peloponnese, and Greece to the wider public. The center has also a strong commitment towards public archaeology. We have set up and successfully run educational projects in collaboration with schools in Greece and in the UK on the submerged town and Pavlo Petri. We run projects more or less near the site. We don't take the kids into the sea where the remains lie, but we also go to schools and do presentation and work with the children so they can learn more about our cultural heritage. And also, we're currently setting up a project on the Tyrian purple color. You may have heard of the Spartan Phoeniki, the scarlet red cloak that the Spartans were wearing, and also of the ancient island Porphyrousa, the purple island, which is identified with the beautiful island of Kythera off the southern coast of Laconia. We are also lucky to have in-house our own children's book writer, Mr. Sarantos Minopetros, a Laconian himself from Agios Nikolaos Vion, who is now completing his 2 books that are linked to our educational projects. The first one is called Arasantoi and the Sea Garlanded City. And also, my name is Royal Purple, and we are also hoping to have this one produced as a film for children. We're working on it at the moment. His next book will be on Leonidas, the obedient king. And this is actually, I've included this poem because it's going to be included in the book. I should mention that the books will be produced both in English and in Greek. And this book will accompany the center's forthcoming educational project on the Spartans. Mr. Minopetros is, as a matter of fact, with us today, so if you want to find out more about his books, you can talk to him after the lecture during the reception. Recently, Professor Steve Hodkinson, the center's other director, has served as historical consultant to Kieron Gillen's graphic novel 3, which centers around 3 fugitive helots. These were the slaves of the Spartans, and is set in the period of Spartans' decline in 360s BC. Its title purposefully evokes the mythologized Sparta of Frank Miller's and Jacques Snyder's 300. I'm sure you have seen the film. But Kieron Gillen's aim is a more authentic depiction of ancient Sparta, focusing in particular on the exploitation of the helots and the latter's capacity for subversive agency. Moving on, next year, the center will be celebrating the decennial anniversary of its successful activity with an international conference on luxury and wealth in the Peloponnese from the Archaic to the Hellenistic period. This is the period from the 7th to the 1st century BC, and it will be held at Nottingham, and also an international symposium on the origins of the Olympic Games at Olympia to coincide with the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Of course, you are all more than welcome to attend these events should you wish to. My paper today stems out of the center's new ambitious international interdisciplinary research project on Spartan sanctuaries, and this is actually the first time that we are announcing it outside the university, and I'm really happy to share this news with you, which I shall be leading with Professor Steve Hodkinson under the auspices of the British School at Athens. In brief, this new project aims at bringing together and making digitally accessible the archaeological material from the early British excavations in the famous Spartan sanctuaries of Artemis of Thea, of Athena Chalkikos. This is the so-called Parthenon of the Spartans, the Menelaion, which was the sanctuary of Menelaus and Helen at Therapni, the Achilleon, the Elefsinion, the Leonideon, or else known as the Temple of Apollo Carnios, the altar of Lycurgus, the sanctuary of Zeus Messapeus, the Astravachus monument, and the sanctuary on the Megalopolis road. It has not been identified as the sacred place of any specific deity so far. And also, this new project aims to reconstruct the lives of the ancient Spartans from birth through childhood, adolescence, and early adulthood, to old age, through the study of the material culture and the votive offerings found in these sanctuaries. And this is the first time that we're going to have a more accurate insight into the lives of the ancient Spartans. From antiquity to present day, the city of Sparta has been invariously the model of discipline, obedience, and virtue, and of conformity and tyranny. Greek and Roman authors, followed by modern scholars, invariably consider Sparta at the peak of its power and prestige. Then this is the period from around 550 to 370 BC, unique and atypical among Greek city-states for the way the state controlled virtually every single aspect of a citizen's life from birth to death. The state-run educational system has been considered since antiquity the cornerstone of the distinctive Spartan way of life. The extant sources describe a complicated system of grades for boys spanning the years from childhood. The boy was taken from its parents at the age of 7 to early adulthood, during which they were inculcated with the Spartan virtues of aggression and blind obedience in a number of violent contests, the most famous of which was the contest of endurance, the renowned ritual flagellation beside the altar of Artemis or Thea. The tale of the Spartan boy that was eaten alive by a fox while he was hiding it under its cloak and refused to reveal that he had stolen it remains to date one of the most famous stories of endurance we have inherited since antiquity. According to the tale that has been included in Plutarch's Life of Lycurgus, one day a Spartan boy stole a fox cub. Unfortunately for him, he was spotted running away and arrested. Before they caught him, he hid the cub inside his cloth. The boy was asked to turn over the animal. The boy's reply was, of course, "Fox cub? What fox cub? I don't know anything about an animal." The interrogation went on and on, for he knew the boy had stolen it. Suddenly, the boy fell down, dead. When the boy's body was examined, it was discovered that the cub had torn out the boy's guts with its teeth and claws while he was being questioned. The boy, however, had never led on to his suffering or given in to the questioning, even though it cost him his life. In another version of the same story, in Plutarch's Sayings of Spartans, before the boy died, he told the other children, who advised him that it would be better to let the fox be seen than to hide it even unto death. It is said that he responded, "Not so, but better to die without yielding to the pain than through being detected because of weakness of spirit to gain a life to be lived in disgrace."
Εδώ να σας αναφέρουμε ότι ολόκληρη τη διάλεξη Dr. Chrysanthi Gallou θα την παρακολουθήσετε προσεχώς στην εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV.